Hello and welcome to episode 32 of the Churnish Digest. My name is Alex, otherwise known as For the Z. We'll start with our disclaimer. I am not a financial or tax advisor. This is not financial or tax advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but please do enjoy. We'll ring off this episode with our housekeeping stuff. If you want to support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Churnish Digest. It starts as little as $1. Referral page, there's some referral links over there if you want to use one of my referrals. I'd appreciate it. Intro music is by my brother's band Sweaty Lemon, which they're supposed to have an album coming out maybe sometime in April. I'll definitely share that out if anybody's interested. There's a link to their information in the show notes. Shout out to Kung Fewer and Cleed for the Cleed tier, and welcome Stepan for becoming a member of the Patreon. If you join, the first tier gives you access to some of our exclusive, more timely deals, as well as gives you a shout out in the Patreon. And in addition to those, I wanted to say thanks to Cleed he mentioned that he was using headphones to listen to the podcast, and you could hear the different channels in the left and right ear. And sometimes when I'm recording, I'm looking at my main monitor in my front of me, and sometimes my monitor to my right. And the microphone I have can pick up omnidirectional sounds, so it's channeling into different channels. I've changed that setting now, so it should just be neutral between the two channels. And also, Reader Ming reached out over email at churnersdigest@gmail.com and mentioned that my volume's a little low, so I bumped up the gain a little bit. Not the gain, but the volume slider, so hopefully that helps a little bit. If it's still not great, let me know. I can bump it even higher. I just don't want to peak anything. And I always do love hearing from listeners, so if you want to write me something, feel free either on Reddit or at churnersdigest@gmail.com or on Discord if you're the Z. Ming says that they listen to me while they cook. I know some people use it while they drive, so I love hearing how y'all listen, and it always means a lot to hear that people enjoy the show. So without further ado, we'll dive right into it. So the first thing, I was bored one night and decided to read the terms of one of my, I think it was my Bank of America Preferred Rewards Elite card, and specifically read the terms for the incidental airline statement credit. And I know that in the Doctor of Credit thread or post about the travel credit and what triggers it, some people were stating that some airlines didn't seem like it was credited, and some people even reached out and said that, like, Spirit Airlines, for example, doesn't qualify for these incidental statement credits. And now it looks like, at least as of January of this year, they've specifically added carve-outs for Allegiant Air, Spirit Airlines, and Sun Country Airlines. So all three of those won't trigger this statement credit, which is a bit unfortunate, but I just asked Will to update the post to specifically call those out, and he did, so thanks, Will. Next, I applied for and was approved for, and I'm currently working towards a sign-up bonus for the Middlesex Federal Credit Union, which is only for Massachusetts. The requirements for that are you get a $150 bonus when you issue a debit card. When you get the debit card issued to you, they'll pay $25. When you also download the app, and when you add the debit card to your digital wallet. And in addition, they need you to do 15 point-of-sale transactions. And they specifically say within the second and the fourth statement cycle. And they'll credit me my last $100. And I did get correspondence from Middlesex because I had an issue with applying. And I also have a feeling that I think I gave a link to my comment on Doctor of Credit specifically. Let's see if I did. I did. And when I was going through the application, there's a spot to put in how you want to fund the account. And an option was a debit card, but I tried putting in a credit card and it took it fine, and it went all the way to the last page of the application, and then it just hung there. And I think it hung there because I had my VPN on. And when I reached out to support and said, hey, I'm not sure if the application went through because I had the $5,000, I charged $5,000 to my credit card. The $5,000 charge was showing up on my Bank of America card as a pending transaction, but the account wasn't opened, and customer service said, oh, it's because you use a credit card and that's not supported, so it hung the application. I went back through and submitted it with just an ACH transfer of like $100, and that also hung, and then I realized I had my VPN on, and I turned that off, and it went through. So I have a feeling if you're trying to apply for this with Credit card, it might go through. Definitely don't reach out to support because it's not supposed to, but I don't think they do any checks against like the BIN numbers or anything to validate if it's a debit card or a credit card. And it didn't look like there was a cap. I went through $5,000 and the transaction went through and hit my card at least, so it is possible. But I'll be working on this sign-up bonus. And yeah, as I was saying, the customer service representative said that the debit card will be sent to me in the mail, and I have to do 15 point-of-sale transactions between the second and fourth statement cycles. Our statements are cut on the 5th of the month, so your second statement will be in January to June. 15 point-of-sale transactions performed during that period will earn you the $150. So it was very nice of them to. I didn't ask them about the promotion. The representative was just like, hey, you opened up your account. Here are the terms of the application you applied for. So that was very nice of them. Next, I won't personally be doing this because I already opened this account and got the sign-up bonus. I think when I did it, it was $500. Let me see if I can find that. Truist. I have to do this advanced search. Find line 58. Truist. It was a $500 bonus for me. So Truist is doing a $400 sign-up bonus now. I doubt they'll have a $500 one back, but it's $400 when you receive a direct deposit of $500 or more and complete at least 15 debit card transactions within 90 days of opening the account. Definitely read through the full terms that they have on their site and Doctor of Credit has as well. It looks like it's probably more. I think it's $1,000 within 90 days. And also, let me pull up my data points. I must have posted it on here, right? I didn't. Let me see if I can find them. Yep, there's my data point. So I opened the account on March 27th of 2022 with the promo code. I pushed $500 from E-Trade and then another $500 from E-Trade. Those counted as direct deposits. There was a place where you can track your bonus, and it looks like that portal is still live. So if you look at my data point, there's a link in there for where you can track your status towards the bonus, and then you can see if your direct deposit qualified or not. And after I qualified with direct deposit on the April 12th, the bonus posted on April 22nd. So it was pretty quick to pay out. These are pretty old, though. This is from 2022, so about 2 years ago. So definitely read up on more recent data points, but that's a pretty great sign-up bonus if you want to go for it. It is limited to, which dates are these? Oh, God, not again. I'm not reading all the letters. There's like maybe 15 states. Looks like most of them are on the East Coast. So if you're in footprint, go for it. Next, American Express Platinum customers can get free tickets to an advanced screening of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Some dates and cities include New York on the 19th, D.C. on the 19th, Massachusetts, Boston on the 19th, Miami on the 19th, Atlanta on the 19th, Dallas on the 19th, San Francisco on the 19th, and Los Angeles on the 19th. It's weird that this is going on. Dr. Cred also says it's weird, but I mean, if you have the American Express Platinum and you're interested in a free movie, go for it. I saw a trailer for this. I recently saw Dune 2 this weekend, which was quite good. This movie looks horrible. It's Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I don't have any interest in movies like that. And maybe if you have kids, it'd be good. But I was not. It was kind of grueling, genuinely, just watching the trailer. Next, this was shared by Cleed in the Simple Finance Discord, but Dr. Credit also shared it. Laurel Road, if you had opened an account with them, they were doing a sign-up bonus for $300 a little while ago. I can't personally open an account because their parent bank is, I think it's KeyPoint, and I had an account with KeyPoint, and Laurel Road's IT, for some reason, won't allow me to open an account since I already had one with KeyPoint. Their system just doesn't let me open it. I've contacted customer support, and they're like, sorry, there's nothing we can do. But if you had an account, they were offering, and I think they still are doing, a $20 monthly bonus for a deposit, and now they're requiring it to be a direct deposit. Previously, I don't think they were checking. It just could be any push, but now they're requiring it to be a direct deposit, which, I mean, if you're getting a free $20 a month, the least you can do is carve out some direct deposit for them. But for those that were just doing regular pushes, this could be annoying. Next, I don't have a full update on this just yet, but I do have a trip to Europe coming up in the end of April, and I decided that it would be a good time to test out the concierge services that Visa Signature cards come with. Specifically, my Bank of America Preferred Rewards Elite card comes to the concierge service. So on Friday of last week, I gave them a call. The representative sounded like they were literally in Russia. Like the reception was really bad. They had the thickest accent I ever heard on. I think her name was Marika. She was very kind. We were joking back and forth on certain things. I asked them for restaurants, sporting events, some touristy stuff, as well as like some local restaurants. Certain cities I asked for like some local stuff to do, like maybe vineyards. We're going to Prague one time, so I don't know if there's like vineyards there. I basically was just asking them to do the grunt work of the initial look. So we'll see how they do. It doesn't cost anything. Obviously, I have to pay for the tickets if we buy anything, but we'll see what they come up with. I did receive, I think on Monday, a notification from Bank of America just saying that I submitted a request to concierge. So if I do hear something back from them, they said sometime this week. I think Marika said sometime this week she'll send me an itinerary. So we'll see what they say. Next, Discover announced their Q2 for their Discover It card, which is gas, EVs, home improvement, and public transit. Public transit's pretty good. I don't think I have a card specifically for that. I think the City Custom Cash does earn on Select Transit. I think that includes public transit. But in Massachusetts, I'll charge my Charlie card. I'll refill that with the public transit probably in Discover for next quarter and just load some money onto the card because I do bus pretty frequently or take the T. Next, another hat tip to Cleed. Ugami, which I'm not going to link to, but they were like a gaming checking account or something. They're shutting down, unsurprisingly. And then I saw on Reddit that PayPal is now going to start charging $1.99 for paper statements, which, I mean, I think that's fair. If you're really getting paper statements now, you should be getting charged as like a little bit of a convenience. They have to mail it to you and print that out in paper. It does cost them money. I mean, they're already making so much money, and it is a bit egregious. But like, just go e-statements. Who the hell's checking their paper statements? Reddit users, I saw this on Reddit, and users are saying this is probably true for all Synchrony accounts. So keep that in mind. If you've been getting paper statements on one of your Synchrony accounts, you should probably check and see if your returns have updated. I think they do legally have to tell you, and it looks like it was kicking in February, but just something to keep in mind. Next is a very high sign-up bonus for SoFi right now. There's a $500 bonus, $200 from Swagbucks, $300 from SoFi. I don't know what's required in the Swagbucks offer, and I've had pretty good luck getting things to track with Swagbucks, but there's been plenty of horror stories about there. So if you don't have good experience with Swagbucks, maybe not go for this. But the $300 bonus, specifically from SoFi, is to receive $5,000 or more of direct deposit within the first 25 days opening the account. Now, it does seem like a lot, and looking at what triggers as a direct deposit for SoFi, I think there's a lot of data points for this. Looking at Doctor of Credit, what did trigger it were things like Ally, eBay managed payments. I don't know who's doing that. PNC, no. Wealthfront didn't work. It did work at one point. It looks like a lot of things have dried up of late, and it looks like Ally does not work anymore. So you might have to do a real direct deposit for that. Some people that might be a non-starter, but I figured I'd call that out. Next, my East Cambridge Savings Bank sign-up bonus posted. So I opened the account on October 29th of last year. November 3rd, $1,001 real direct deposit, and then a slew of real $501 direct deposits because the requirements were I only did the $300 sign-up bonus because the $450 was a little too rich. It required $5,000 of direct deposits for 3 statements. The $300 one was $1,000 direct deposit for 3 statements. And mine posted, I think it was exactly just about 3 months and plus 30 days from when I opened the account for the bonus to post. So this year's starting off pretty decently in terms of sign-up bonuses. Thus far in 2024, I've made $650 on sign-up bonuses, and then bank referrals, $280. I think that's accurate. And I'm pretty happy about that thus far. Next, we have I saw this on Reddit. I actually don't know if I have the original user that posted this. I probably do. No, I don't. But for those people that have an Apple Card and using the savings account, they are now paying interest on up to $1 million held with them. Something to note, which kind of makes this not very important, is that FDIC insurance on this is still only up to $250,000. At least their terms don't state anything in terms of FDIC, and they just mention that it has FDIC insurance. So it doesn't really lead me to believe that they're insuring up to $1 million. It's surprising coming from Apple to not include something like that, because I feel like they are normally looking out at, I mean, that's a pretty blanket statement to say, but they're one of the companies that more looks out for the consumer and wants to make everything just work for you. So I'm surprised they don't have like a bunch of bank partners to allow for FDIC insurance to go over $250K. So I would not suggest parking. I mean, I wouldn't suggest parking $1 million cash most places, but definitely don't put it into a bank account that doesn't have FDIC insurance up to that. I know Wealthfront, I think it's up to like $8 million because they have a bunch of partner banks. But again, if you're having $8 million cash, you're probably not listening to this podcast. Next, just a website update. I was thinking the other day, like I have often had to try and search for my own stuff, like search through my blog posts. It's a pain. Like I've tried using Google and like limiting the site to fearthez.com. That hasn't always worked. I learned that I can add a search bar to my site. So on the site at the top at fearthez.com, there's now a search bar and you can search through all my different posts. I found it useful. Maybe you will too. Next, user on Discord. Let me find who it was. User by the name of ddunk shared a link to a seemingly new site for another one of these all-in-one cards where you can have one card that can route your transactions to other cards. Looking through this site, though, this looks like just a boilerplate marketing site. I did a little digging as well and found the supposed CEO of the company, and it's some kid that graduated college like last year. So I don't think this is going anywhere. And he's specifically like I think finance and computer science major, and like the site was built on Framer and still has the Framer terms and conditions at the bottom. They have a link to their Twitter, but their Twitter is pretty much empty. It looks like it's like more of a proof of concept sort of thing, just doing marketing. So I don't expect this to do anything. There is a place to reserve a spot and to pay $25 for a spot. There's also a founder edition card that you can purchase for an extra $50. I tried making a purchase and it didn't go through. I was just going to use like the Patreon funds. So shout out to Patreon because of the Patreon, I'll be able to afford things like this. I like the Cash App Chameleon debit card I now have for the card designs blog post. I now have a physical scan of it as well as a digital image of it. So thank you very much, Patreon. And I would give some money to this, but it didn't go through, first off. Second off, it has the guy's name as the direct email that it's associated to. Third off, the charge wouldn't even go through. It just said we could not process your transaction. So I don't think this is anything, but I figured I'd call it out because I saw it, but it's not really a thing. It's just move on. Next, upgraded their savings referrals. So it goes up to $500 for depositing $100,000 plus for both the referrer and the referee. And I just so happened to refresh Dr. Credit when this came out, and I was lucky enough to be the first person to share the referral link. So it looks like I was lucky enough to get like 20 referrals from this. So if all of them pan out, it could be a decent chunk of change. We'll see what comes of it. But something to note that I think Eric pointed out in the comments here. Yeah, Eric pointed out that there is a maximum of 10 referral bonuses from all qualified referrals during the term of the program. And they often update these programs. So right now my upgrade is showing, I believe, 20 referrals. But we'll get into why I doubt that is actually the true number. But one of those was from a previous referral program, so I don't think that will count. So right now I have 20 in progress, 0 on the way, 1 bonus deposited. And going back to this deductive credit thread, and I linked to this comment in the show notes. People were saying that it looked like their numbers were pretty inflated for these referrals, and someone went through and did some math on their referrals and saw that it looks like they're quadruple counting the savings referrals. So I gave a link. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but their math with 4 different players, 4 different accounts that they have, seems to add up and seems to track with their data points. So I think I only have 5 actual referrals. So if you want to use my referral link, you can. I'm not sure if I will be able to get it. You should still be able to get it, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to get your credit. If you're on the Patreon, I shared this there as well, and there's a post there where I shared my referral link. You can go in there and use that link, and also you can go in there and share your link if you'd like other people to use it within our little niche community of our Patreon subscribers. So feel free to do that. Next, there's currently a live sign-up bonus from First Tech Federal Credit Union. There's a lot of comments on people getting not approved, and I was initially not instantly approved, and then I went through pending, and then I think a couple hours later I was approved, and I didn't really have to submit anything additional. They didn't ask for any additional documentation. It just went pending and then went approved, which was odd. There is no credit card funding. The requirements for this one are set up a new payroll direct deposit to your First Tech Rewards checking of $1,000 plus per month for a minimum of 3 months. So one thing to note, I'm not sure if this is cumulative deposit. So like, can I direct deposit 2 times of $500? Let's see if anybody has an opinion in the comments. All right, reading through the terms, I couldn't find anything in the comments, but the terms specifically state the monthly aggregate amount of all qualifying direct deposits must equal to at least $1,000 to earn $300 bonus. So multiple $500 transactions, 2 specifically $500 direct deposits within a month should qualify me. So I believe my paycheck, I have to actually check if it's going through this weekend, but I should have a paycheck on Friday and then a paycheck on the 22nd to start my 3-month calendar of $1,000 per month. It was pretty easy. People are seeming to have a hard time getting approved. I have tried to pull my check systems, and I don't know exactly what my checks report is, but I apply for a whole bunch of accounts. Like if we're just looking at accounts that I've applied for since the end of a year ago, let's see, back in March of last year. Let's see, date opened, 2023. Like if I go like this, I have maybe 20 since the beginning of last year. So I'm not sure what people consider to be a high checks amount, but I consider that to be pretty high. And I was approved fine. So give it a shot. It's $300. It is kind of annoying to have to do $1,000 direct deposit for 3 months, but it looks like the account also earns 5%, at least maybe the savings account. I did open a rewards savings, rewards checking, and a member savings. So now I have 3 accounts with them. But I'll keep y'all posted on that. We'll hear back on that in like 3 months. All right, next, it was my birthday last month. And Join Save, if you remember that, they do invest a certain amount of money in your behalf. At the end of the year of you having the funds with them, you get the interest the account earned, and it matches certain funds. Well, for my birthday, they gave me an extra $1,000 invested on my behalf, which is nice. We'll see what that comes of it. But while we're talking about Save, let's do a quick Save update to see how that's playing out. So I'm actually a little decently surprised. So my initial investment was $1,000, and I was lucky enough to have 3 people use my referral code. And since I used someone's referral, I got $5,000 invested on my behalf. So if you sign up with a referral, my referral's in the show notes, you get your initial $1,000 invested and $5,000 invested on your behalf. Now, I have $20,000 invested on my behalf, so my gains are multiplied pretty high. But my initial investment, which is the $1,000, is tracking the S&P 500. That is up 9.17%. My rewards that I got from referrals is up. Let's see what the percentage comes out to. It's up $403.29. So overall, I'm up about $495. But just the rewards from the referrals is up to 9 divided by 20,000 is up 2%. And that's mainly because you don't get to choose what the referral is invested in. They choose their least aggressive one. But if you had joined at the same time with just $500, that $400 referral bonus, or the gains from the $400 referral bonus, was come out to $100 for you. So locking your funds up for a year, I think, is a decent. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's worth it. I mean, $1,000, if you have kicking around and you want to give it a shot, go for it. It's FDIC insured, at least your initial investment. They do take a cut from the end when you go to pull it out. I'm not exactly sure how much that cut is. I think it's probably a couple %. And if the funds lose any money, you don't lose anything. If it gains money, you get the gains plus their fee taken out. So that's an update from Save. Last time I talked about that was episode 21, and it was at $360. So since then, it's gained another $150. So cool. Next, speaking of referrals, Monzo has a $20 referral. So if you haven't signed up for Monzo yet, my referral is also in the show notes. I think you just have to spend like $10 on the card. There is debit card funding there. So if that's useful to you, I think you can do like $5,000 per month on debit card funding. So that's nice. Next, I have a final update on Ness. I emailed Ness, and if you don't remember this whole thing, episode 30 talked about it, and there's an episode before that as well. But I emailed Ness asking, well, they sent me, the Bank of Missouri sent me a letter saying that my money's gone, basically, my rewards, which I get. And I emailed them and said, in correspondence to the letter, you mentioned that there are reward terms and conditions. Could you attach them? Basically, I was just trying to call their bluff to see if they actually had the Ness rewards terms and conditions, which they actually did. They sent as an attachment, and it obviously says that your points are null and void. They're not worth any cash value. I also called out that their correspondence stated that any points redeemed after November 14th were no longer being validated or no longer being honored, but I was not told that Ness was going under until the 15th, and they actually said I have a week until that end date. And I also said that the cancellation of points directly contradicts the communications that Nesswell, per the attached email, states there was time to use points. It is my understanding that Nesswell correspondence is inaccurate, is not being honored. Again, I don't know who this person is who's dealing with me, because they don't say who it is, but they just said, Mr. For the Z, we understand your frustration. However, Nesswell is no longer in business. Any communications they provided related to honoring points or other programs items are no longer valid, and while they may have intended to honor the rewards, their sudden closure has altered their original intent. This is simply because Nesswell is no longer operating. As requested, the terms and conditions for the former rewards program are enclosed for review. Thank you, Complaint Resolution Team. Email nessinfo@bankofmissouri.com. So that's kind of end of that. I guess I just eat the $150. I mean, I did make a good amount of money on Ness, so I'm not going to complain too much, but you can't knock me for trying. Next, also talked about in episode 31 and episode 26, I finally have a closure to this Guitar Center snafu. I had some people telling me maybe don't shop at Guitar Center, which I don't plan on shopping there from now on, but I was put in contact with that final customer service representative. They told me they were going to escalate the issue. Not a week later did I get shipping confirmation, and not just this past Sunday did the cymbal finally arrive. And it came at perfect timing too, because my brother was using actually the same cymbal, but just one that he had thrifted, and it had developed a crack very recently. And he's like, perfect timing, because I get to replace it with this fresh cymbal. So I did call up the representative and tell him that I'm very thankful that I finally got the order. At the end of it all, I did get $100 off, so I guess it's better than nothing. There are other people, as far as I know, that are still waiting for this cymbal, so I'm grateful we finally got ours. And I'm also grateful that I can finally close the chapter on the Guitar Center saga. Next, Doctor of Credit shared that The Chase Sapphire Preferred has a 70,000 point in branch sign-on bonus where you spend, I think, $4,000. Sorry, you spend $4,000 the first 3 months for $60K, and then spend an additional $2,000 in the next 3 months to get an extra $10K. I don't think this is worth it. We've seen higher in the past of 90K points in branch, so hold out if you're looking for something like that. I am way beyond 524 at this point. Let's go look and see exactly what I'm at. I need to stop applying for cards. I told myself I was gonna stop applying, and then I applied for another Bank of America Premium Rewards card. Let's see, 24 months back to 2022. I am 1024, so a little bit too hot for Chase. I'm actually 912. I've had 9 approvals in the past 12 months. So I'm going to be cooling off here. Maybe I'll actually go for a business account now, a business card, and maybe I won't tell them that I lose money every month like I did last time. And now that I do have a business, I mean, this is technically a business, so maybe I'll go that avenue. But yeah, don't go for the Chase Sapphire Preferred in branch offer. That's not good enough. Next, for those of you who are interested in Uber gift cards and for some reason have a bunch of Discover Rewards points, which I, because of these offers, have started to save up my certain rewards points in certain banks. So specifically Discover, they often do like Discover gift card reward bonuses. So right now, Doctor of Credit shared, and I purchased 15% off of Uber gift cards when redeeming your points for Uber gift cards. So I think I bought $40 for 15% off, which is nice. Normally Uber gift cards, like the best you're going to get is about 15%. Normally it's like 10% plus any cash back you get, which brings it to around 15. So I can always use gift cards. So I figured I'd buy some more. And lo and behold, looking at the comments, someone also, I don't know if they're just a reader of mine, because I did say this a couple episodes ago, but someone said, I've read some stories that Uber Lyft hikes up prices for discounted gift cards. Did anyone experience this? I don't have any way of knowing, but I think they do. Users are saying that this can't be true. Are you suggesting that they increase prices for just having gift cards in your account? I genuinely think they do. Another user says, this is illegal, but if they're doing it, class action will pay you back 5 cents, so you're good, which is pretty accurate. I don't know if it's illegal. I don't really know, but I kind of feel like they're doing that. Next, the CFPB put out that they will be capping credit card late fees at $8 a month. There seems to be a discussion on if it's actually going to be required for all banks, because like the verbiage is a little bit loose. Technically, the rule doesn't cap the late fee at $8. It requires credit card issuers to show their math. Larger card issuers will be able to charge fees above the threshold so long as they can provide the higher fee is necessary to cover their actual collection costs. And I don't know what they're going to do with this, but it's always good to see legislation favor consumers. I know that posts or blog sites like The Points Guy have been touting against this because it's going to lower credit card rewards. I highly doubt that this will lower credit card rewards. I mean, just talking about, not going to get into finances again, but like Capital One last week, we discussed that they acquired Discover, and they are increasing their profit on interchange fees by 100%. So them losing maybe instead of $40 to $8 for their late fees, hopefully it doesn't hurt them too bad. I mean, I know they're making a whole bunch of money anyway, so the banks will be fine. I don't think they're going to cut credit card rewards anytime soon. If anything, they might hike up interchange fees and charge businesses more, but again, consumers shouldn't see that. I mean, those fees are already baked into prices, so maybe you'll see it abstracted, but I don't think it's much to worry about. And then finally, I was pinged by Eric. I've talked about Eric a lot from Doctor of Credit, But I talked with Eric on Dr. Credit about my Vision Federal Credit Union credit card category that the charge showed up as. And that was a bonus that is still live for New York, Pennsylvania, New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, where you get $100 when you set up direct deposit of $500 or more within 90 days, $50 for setting up your Vision's debit card, and $50 when you're enrolled in digital banking. Also, to note for this account, my Visions, they paid the $50 debit and the $50 e-banking right away. I didn't even receive the debit card just yet, and they had given me the $50, so those are pretty easy. And then the next $500 direct deposit, I just have to slowly start doing it. I think I've already met it. Now I'm just waiting on it to post. But Eric asked me to check and see what my charge showed up on my Bank of America card is. Specifically asked me what the merchant description was and if it was online purchase. And that's a ding, ding, ding in my head for his card being a customized cash rewards card and for him trying to see if it'll count for online shopping. In my experience, I know they have specific carve-outs for the merchant categories, but looking at the specific carve-outs, the description category that they had for this transaction was financial institutions, merchandise, and services. And it did flag as online shopping. It has a Y for online shopping, even though I misspelled shopping in my comment. They don't specifically exclude that merchant category. So I wonder if Eric does do this and charge to his customized cash rewards card, if he would get the online shopping boost for it. So I guess time will tell. If he gives me an update, I'll give you all an update. Well, that's about it for today. Thanks for listening, everybody. Sorry this one's a little late, but better late than never, right? Thanks for listening, and hope you have a nice week. Thanks, y'all.